Lin Zichen was reborn as a baby. With every sip of milk, his strength grew. By the time he was 3 months old, he had already kicked his legs 10,000 times. At 4 months, he learned how to crawl. By 5 months, he could already walk on his own. This was because Lin Zichen had a cheat-like system. Whichever body part he trained would grow endlessly stronger. At 6 months, he could even sit with his parents and watch TV. In this world, there were two extraordinary powers: cyborgs and gene fusers. Cyborgs were known as mechanical ascenders. They enhanced their bodies through mechanical modification. Gene fusers, on the other hand, merged with the genes of mutant beasts, gaining a portion of the beast's abilities. And humanity's enemies were obvious: the countless mutant beasts born from Earth's evolution. Not long after, a new family moved in next door to Lin Zichen's house. They had a daughter named Shun Qinghan. She became Lin Zichen's very first friend in this world, though at that time, he had no idea their fates would one day be tightly bound together. By 7 months old, Lin Zichen had already learned how to run. He also mastered jumping and could even begin to speak. At 8 months, he started doing sit-ups to train his abs that he always practiced secretly when his parents weren't around. But as the saying goes, you can't walk by the river without getting your shoes wet. Inevitably, Lin Zichen was caught by his mother. She rubbed her eyes in disbelief. What the did I just see my baby doing sit-ups? But when his mother looked again, Lin Zichen was already lying flat. She convinced herself she had just been too absorbed in writing her novel, her imagination running wild. A few days later, while bathing him, she screamed in shock and called for her husband. "Honey, our son is only 8 months old. Why does he already have abs?" His father thought hard. Their son's appetite had always been incredible, and now he even had abs. Suddenly, he exclaimed, "Honey, could it be that our son is a 1 in a million prodigy? Looks like our Zichen has a bright future ahead. Most likely a gene fuser, and, at the very least, a mechanical ascender." Lin Zichen let out a sigh of relief. His cheat ability had almost been exposed, but luckily his dad filled in the blanks himself, labeling him a genius. Having two novelist parents really was a blessing. Still, when it came to prodigies, he wasn't the only one. The news reported that in Kyoto, a 1,000-year martial clan had a boy born with divine strength. By the age of 2, he could lift a 20-kilogram dumbbell with one hand. After seeing this, his mother gently patted his head and said, "My Zichen is amazing 2.1 day. You'll be just as great as those so-called clan prodigies." Deep inside, Lin Zichen muttered to himself, "That's my mom. Always spot on, but will I really be able to lift 20 kilos with ease when I turn 2? At last, he made it to his second birthday. Thanks to his use-it-or-lose-it skill, he could now easily lift 20 kilograms with one hand. Just then, his mother called out, "Chun-Chun, where are you? Qinghan's here to play with you. Come out already." Lin Zichen patted his shoulder and walked outside. Soon after, he saw a little girl. She held out an egg tart for him, but he told her she should eat it herself. Even though their minds were on completely different levels, he still let her stick to him. After all, she made the perfect weight attachment. But this attachment had one little problem. Sometimes it leaked that those times he could only shout for backup, "Mom, Qinghan peed again." By the age of 3, he could already lift 40 kilograms with one hand. Meanwhile, that so-called Kyoto prodigy, who was a year and a half older than him, could only manage a 30-kilogram dumbbell. Yet when Lin Zichen looked at his status panel, he fell into deep thought. His biological level was still stuck at normal tier 1. What would normal tier 2 be like? Could it mean surpassing the limits of humanity? Carrying these doubts, he stepped out of his house for the very first time, finally laying eyes on gene fusers and cyborgs in person. The very first place Lin Zichen visited was the library. Since his parents didn't allow him too much access to electronics, the best way to answer his questions was by going there. Through reading, Lin Zichen began to gain a deeper understanding of this mutated Earth. He discovered that ancient stone tablets found in mysterious ruins recorded that the world was divided into 6 biological tiers: normal, advanced, rare, epic, legendary, and mythical. Each tier was further split into 9 stages. While ordinary humans were stuck at stage 1 of the normal tier, compared to high-level beings, they were less than ants. Lin Zichen thought to himself. He had to increase his growth speed. Only then would he have a chance to survive in this dangerous world. Ding! You are reading. Spirit +1, Comprehension +1, Knowledge +1. Achievement unlocked. Read 100 million words. Reward, Biological attribute. Celestial wisdom root. Current progress, 10, 0, 86, 100 million. The system knew him too well. Right after reading, it immediately gave him a new task. From then on, Lin Zichen began training both body and mind. He read books while doing sit-ups, and by the time he turned 4, his total reading volume had already reached 43.96 million words. That year marked the beginning of Lin Zichen's kindergarten life. Not long after starting, he advanced smoothly to normal tier 2. By then, he could lift 80 kilograms with one hand, jump 1.2 meters straight up, and sprint 100 meters in under 11 seconds. Meanwhile, Shun Xinghan was often mocked by classmates as the bedwetting queen because she sometimes wet her pants. Seeing this, how could Lin Zichen just stand by? He leapt onto the podium and shouted, "Shut up! Anyone who dares call her that again, I'll make sure you wet the bed every single day." The other kids burst into tears, while Shun Xinghan looked at him with pure admiration. "Ding! Your domineering aura has terrified all your classmates. Title unlocked. Kindergarten boss. Achievement. Ruler of 9 years of compulsory education. Titles. Kindergarten boss. Unlocked. Elementary school tyrant. Locked. Junior high overlord. Locked." Lin Zichen hadn't expected that roar to trigger a new mission. His previous tasks weren't even finished yet, but a new one had appeared. Clearly, missions could progress in parallel. That was definitely good news. 6 months later, Lin Zichen successfully completed his reading mission and gained the biological attribute, Celestial Wisdom Root. From that moment on, he had perfect memory, and his learning ability reached the peak of humanity. Time flew by, and soon they were nearly 7 years old, graduating from kindergarten. During the vacation before elementary school, Lin Zichen kept training, pushing himself until he could lift 200 kilograms with one hand. His high jump surpassed 2 meters, and his 100-meter sprint dropped below 8 seconds. With the blessing of Celestial Wisdom Root, he had already mastered nearly all elementary school courses in his spare time. Before long, Lin Zichen finally stepped into his elementary school life. Since he was already self-studying middle and high school material, any competition in elementary school was nothing but child's play. But trophies meant nothing to him. What he truly wanted was just one thing: to unlock the title of elementary school tyrant as soon as possible. At school, whenever he had free time, Lin Zichen would tutor Shun Xinghan. She wasn't particularly gifted, but her diligence and obedience made up for it. After just one semester, her grades had risen to second in the class, and the top spot, of course, belonged to Lin Zichen. To unlock his title as quickly as possible, Lin Zichen not only studied, but also entered every event in the school sports meet, shattering all the records. Just when he thought his elementary school life would be nothing more than this routine, a special transfer student arrived in their class. What made her special was that Lin Zichen could sense a trace of aura on her body that didn't belong to any human. Soon after, she was assigned a seat right behind him. As she walked past, Shun Xinghan whispered softly to him, "Xiao Chun, her hair is so beautiful, just like snowflakes in winter." But Lin Zichen had no interest in responding to Shun Xinghan at that moment. What mattered to him was the question, why did Bai Shui carry a non-human aura? Could she be a gene fuser, or perhaps the descendant of one? In the days that followed, Bai Shui would collapse on her desk right after class and stay motionless. The tea first, everyone was curious about her. But soon, their curiosity faded, and the classroom returned to its usual calm. Over a month later, that calm was shattered. White liquid began seeping from Bai Shui's body. No one knew exactly what the substance was, but its smell carried a foul stench. Because of it, her classmates began to shun her. One boy went too far. He poured water over her head, sneering that she stank and needed a wash. Everyone expected the usually aloof, quiet girl to get angry. Instead, she whimpered and broke down in tears. Her bullies only laughed harder, clutching their stomachs in amusement. Shun Xinghan couldn't bear to watch any longer, and hoped Lin Zichen would step in for Bai Shui. Though he still hadn't figured out who this girl really was, Lin Zichen decided to act. He placed a firm hand on the boy's shoulder and said coldly, "Guan Chun, wipe the water off Bai Shui's desk." Guan Chun jumped in fright, stammering, "No problem, I'll clean it right away." He quickly grabbed a cloth and wiped the desk, knowing full well that Lin Zichen was infamous as the school's little tyrant. Even sixth graders didn't dare cross him. Then Lin Zichen turned to the rest of the class and declared, "Anyone who bullied Bai Shui, step up right now and apologize to her." The bullies shuddered in fear. One by one, they lined up and bowed to Bai Shui, admitting their fault. "We were wrong. Bai Shui, we're sorry. Please forgive us." Bai Shui stopped crying and sincerely thanked Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan. From that day on, Shen Qinghan took the initiative to approach the white-haired girl, pulling Lin Zichen along, determined to become her friend. Whenever she had something tasty, Shen Qinghan would share it with Bai Shui first. Eventually, Bai Shui voiced the doubt that had weighed on her heart. "I smell so bad. Don't you too find me disgusting?" She quickly explained, "I'm sorry, it's not that I don't believe you, it's just that ever since I was little, I've always been rejected and shunned by the people around me. Having someone stay by my side for the first time. It feels too unreal, like I'm dreaming." "No, this isn't a dream," Shen Qinghan replied firmly. "I've been through the same thing as you. That's why I'll never despise you as long as you're willing. We'll always be best friends." Having once been mocked as the bedwetting queen, Shen Qinghan could deeply understand Bai Shui's pain. Bai Shui suddenly threw her arms around Shen Qinghan. Tears poured out like a spring as she sobbed. Thank you so much." Then she removed the necklace from her neck and said, "Qinghan, Xiao Chun, you've always shared food with me and treated me as a friend. I want to give you something too. These fangs were my birthday gift from my mother last year. Now, I'm giving them to you that I hope you won't dislike them, and I hope we'll always be friends." Shen Qinghan accepted the fangs with both hands, her expression solemn. Then she smiled brightly. "We'll always be best friends." Just when Shen Qinghan thought their friendship would last forever, something unexpected happened. A cyborg suddenly handled Bai Shui's transfer papers, and Lin Zichen overheard the principal saying her records were completely confidential. From that alone, it was clear Bai Shui's identity was anything but ordinary. From that day on, Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan never saw Bai Shui again. Perhaps she had only been a passerby in their childhood. Compared to Bai Shui's departure, what came next weighed even more heavily on Lin Zichen's mind. The so-called Kyoto prodigy had successfully fused with beast genes at the age of 10 and could now lift a 1,000-pound boulder with one hand. Hearing the news, his father joked, "Again with the Kyoto prodigy? He's on screen, so often it feels like they're trying to turn him into an influencer to sell products." He continued, "Well, it is a 1,000-year-old martial clan from Kyoto. They probably have some advanced gene fusion technology." His mother disagreed. "That doesn't mean they should treat their own child like a lab rat." His father countered, "For martial clans, sacrificing the individual for the benefit of the family is the way. Otherwise, they'd never rise to that level." His mother snapped back angrily, Sure, you always know best." Lin Zichen ignored their quarrel, his thoughts spinning. That Kyoto prodigy used to only lift a 100-kilogram barbell, but after gene fusion, he could hoist 500 kilograms. His strength increased fivefold. Yet Lin Zichen was only 8 years old, and without any gene fusion, he could already lift 300 kilograms with one hand.by comparison. His potential was clearly greater. With that calculation, he was still full of confidence about his future, until he saw the next piece of news and finally understood what it meant to be ruled by fear. In a neighboring country, a devastating beast attack occurred. Footage from eyewitnesses suggested that the culprit was a giant mutant rat. One female office worker was even caught on camera being swallowed whole by the creature. Investigations later revealed that heresy cultists had fanned the flames behind the attack. A spokesperson from Sakura Nation appeared on camera, calling on all countries for aid and cooperation in eliminating the cult. This so-called cult was a brutal, anti-human organization. For the sake of profit, they had become lapdogs of the mutant beasts, orchestrating attacks in human society. Fortunately, Lin Zichen was born in a strong nation, where relative stability still allowed him to grow and bide his time. But just then, he heard a sonic boom outside the window. Rushing over, Lin Zichen saw countless government cyborgs flying past in formation. The next morning, Lin Zichen waited for Shun Qinghan so they could head to school together. At that moment, he noticed that the fong Bai Shui had given her was glowing. Only then did he realize. The fong was from mutant beast, and oh wonder Bai Shui had carried a faint non-human aura. The source must have been this very tooth. The glow lasted only a short while, and they didn't dwell on it further. Soon after, they went on to school. Still, with the cyborgs assembling the night before, and now this strange reaction from the fong, Lin Zichen couldn't shake the feeling that something ominous was coming. As they passed by a red-haired woman, the woman suddenly called out to them. She asked, "Are you two siblings?" Shun Qinghan answered honestly, "We're not siblings. We're childhood sweethearts and the best of friends." "Childhood sweethearts. How enviable. I wish I had one too," the woman said with a smile. Then, with a hint of malice, she pressed further. "You're this young and walking to school by yourselves? Where are your parents?" Lin Zichen quickly pulled Shun Qinghan along, saying, "We're going to be late. Don't waste time talking." At school, Lin Zichen warned Shun Qinghan not to casually answer questions from strangers who try to strike up a conversation. Shun Qinghan nodded, saying she understood. After school, Lin Zichen led Shun Qinghan down a different route home. But as they passed an alley, they ran into the same red-haired woman from that morning. "Kids, you're finally out of school," she said with a smile. Lin Zichen's heart sank. Even after taking a detour, she had still followed them. The woman grinned. "Children, I've got delicious treats at my place. Want to come play at Big Sister's house?" This time, a man appeared behind her. Without a word, he lunged forward, trying to snatch them away. But Lin Zichen had already taken up a fighting stance. With a powerful punch, he slammed his fist into the man's chest. The man was launched backward like a cannonball. The woman was stunned. Impossible. How could an elementary school kid send a grown man flying? Before she could process it, Lin Zichen had already closed the distance and appeared right in front of her. Then, with a heavy strike, he smashed his fist squarely into her face. Lin Zichen picked up a brick and slowly walked toward the two attackers. With no cameras around, the only way to eliminate the risk was to finish them off, but he didn't want to. But if today's events leaked, his abilities would be exposed, and his plan to grow stronger in secret would be ruined. But at that very moment, the ground began to shake, and the roar of a beast thundered through the air. A monstrous creature appeared before them, a giant mutant rat. The rat opened its massive jaws, and in one bite, it tore half the woman's body away. Then it snatched up the man with one claw, munching on him like a snack. Without hesitation, Lin Zichen dashed toward Shun Qinghan, scooping her into his arms before sprinting with all his strength. Fortunately, before they got far, a government cyborg swooped down from the sky. The female cyborg soared straight toward the giant mutant rat. She halted only once she reached the top of its massive head. Raising her right hand, she began charging her weapon. With a sharp blast, she unleashed a barrage of anesthetic smoke straight at the beast. The giant rat was pelted with a fierce onslaught. Moments later, the creature staggered, dizziness washing over it. Seizing the chance, the cyborg slashed across its neck with her blade, ending the monster's life once and for all. Back home, Lin Zichen carefully analyzed the battle. The female cyborg wasn't particularly high-ranked. She had to weaken the rat with tranquilizer rounds first, then engage in close combat for 7 minutes before finishing it off. Still, the giant mutant rat was no easy opponent. Fully grown, it could reach over 3 meters in length with a biological level of normal tier 5. Lin Zichen reflected that it was sheer luck a cyborg had arrived in time yesterday. Otherwise, they never would have made it out alive. But Lin Zichen knew that true strength came from himself. He pushed his training even harder. Weighted squats, blood chi +2, leg muscle strength +2, squat proficiency +1. Although the threat of mutant rats still lingered, life went on. Before long, Lin Zichen and Shun Qinghan celebrated their 9th birthday. After making their wishes, they exchanged gifts. Lin Zichen gave Shun Qinghan a wooden hairpin, something he had carved in a single night, thanks to the blessing of celestial wisdom root. Time flew by, and soon they graduated from elementary school. By then, Lin Zichen had already unlocked the title Elementary School Tyrant, but he was only one step away from claiming Junior High Overlord, which would grant him a new biological attribute, Law of the Jungle. During the vacation before middle school, determined to unlock the title faster and strengthen himself further, Lin Zichen trained at extreme intensity. 1,000 weighted push-ups, blood chi plus 2,000, arm muscle strength plus 2,000, chest muscle strength plus 2,000, push-up proficiency plus 1,000. At last, on the day right before school began, Lin Zichen's biological level broke through to normal tier 3. All of his physical attributes saw a massive boost. All the while, he kept his eyes on the so-called Kyoto Prodigy. By the age of 14, the Kyoto Prodigy could already lift a 2,000-kilogram core with one hand. The giant ant gene was said to multiply strength by 4 to 8 times. Even at the lowest estimate of 4 times, that meant his true strength was only around 400 kilograms with one hand. Compared to that, Lin Zichen was still stronger. The thought stirred excitement within him. If he underwent gene fusion in the future, just how much stronger could he become? Soon, Lin Zichen officially began his middle school life. Having been the city's top student in elementary school, he was heavily recruited by the principals of elite schools that in the end, he accepted Shanghai Middle School's offer, on the condition that Shun Qinghan could attend the same school and even the same class. On the day of enrollment, both the principal and homeroom teacher personally welcomed him, urging him to bring honor to the school. Lin Zichen exchanged a few polite words before excusing himself. His real reason for slipping away was simple. Shanghai Middle boasted top-notch sports facilities. Before school started, he and Shun Qinghan had already agreed to play a game of badminton together. But just as their match began, unwelcome guests appeared. A senior student stepped forward and said coldly, "You must be the new kids. This court belongs to upperclassmen only." 2 other older students sneered, their expressions lewd as they began to harass Shun Qinghan. Lin Zichen's expression darkened. "Hey, you lot, back off from her, and don't tell me you don't know the rule of first come, first served." The upperclassmen sneered arrogantly. "What rule? Even if the king of heaven himself got here first, we're still taking this court today." Lin Zichen said, "No more." He hurled his badminton racket straight at them. The shuttlecock tore through the air so fast it produced a sonic boom. It pierced clean through the student's racket and even the cap on his head. The 3 froze in terror, nearly wetting themselves. Too fast. Is he even human? Could he be a gene fuser? No way at his age. If that shot had gone off by an inch, our leader's head would have been split open. Immediately, they lined up, bowed, and stammered, "Boss, we were wrong," before bolting away at top speed. After that, word of the incident spread through the school, and no one ever dared to bully them again. Having already finished all his middle school coursework, Lin Zichen spent most of class time reading extracurricular books that truly interested him. After his nightly physical training, he would go online to learn new skills. Thanks to Celestial Wisdom Root, he steadily picked up photography, cooking, driving, swimming, wilderness survival, and a wide range of sports. To unlock the title Junior High Overlord as quickly as possible, Lin Zichen not only ranked first in every subject, but also represented his school in national junior competitions. He collected gold, silver, and bronze medals in math, physics, chemistry, and computer programming. The only reason he didn't take first place across the board was to avoid drawing too much attention. A semester passed, yet the title still didn't unlock. Instead, his dazzling performance earned him a swarm of fangirls. But Lin Zichen didn't care about that. Aside from tutoring Shun Qinghan, his focus was entirely on the upcoming school sports meet. He believed that if he dominated the event, he would surely unlock Junior High Overlord. This time, he entered only 3 competitions: shot put, high jump, and sprinting. These 3 represented strength, vertical leap, and speed. Conquering all of them meant full-spectrum dominance in athletics. Though he deliberately held back to avoid suspicion, securing first place was still effortless. The moment he claimed every medal, a surge of power exploded within him. "Your academic and athletic performance has crushed the entire school, leaving every student in your shadow. Title unlocked Frowny Face Junior High Overlord. Titles unlocked Frowny Face Kindergarten Boss, Elementary School Tyrant, Junior High Overlord. Achievement complete Frowny Face Ruler of 9 years of compulsory education. Reward granted. Biological attribute. Law of the Jungle. Law of the Jungle was a primal source of life. Standing above all beings, T allowed the user to devour the life essence of others to fuel their own evolution. A.S. Lin Zichen left school. He pondered what exactly this life essence truly meant. Then, suddenly, a realization struck him. He turned to Shun Qinghan. Qinghan, can I take a look at your fong? Shun Qinghan nodded and removed the fong, placing it into his hand. The next second, a system prompt appeared. Frowny Face, you have devoured a trace of the abyssal butterfly's life essence. Abyssal Butterfly Codex, 1%. When progress reaches 100%, you may evolve and gain the beast's attributes or abilities. Back home, Lin Zichen immediately searched for information on the abyssal butterfly, but he found nothing. It seemed that if he wanted to understand this creature, he would have to uncover the truth on his own. Later, Lin Zichen pulled another fong from his backpack. After devouring it, his abyssal butterfly codex rose to 2%. Only 2%? Looks like the beast bone didn't have much life essence left. Fully unlock it. I'll need another way, he thought to himself. After that, to increase the intensity of his training, he began biking Shun Qinghan to and from school every day. One day, he was stopped by Teacher Guo from the school's martial arts team. Having witnessed Lin Zichen's outstanding performance at the sports meet, Teacher Guo wanted to recruit him into the school's martial arts squad. Without even giving him the chance to refuse, the teacher left immediately after extending the invitation. Later at home, Lin Zichen casually swatted a mosquito. From that, he concluded, whether mosquito or cockroach, creatures too weak simply couldn't trigger the law of the jungle ability. Only powerful mutant beasts carried life essence worth devouring. To test his theory, Lin Zichen decided to visit a supermarket that sold beast meat. The moment he spotted the butcher's counter, he rushed over without hesitation. Nervously, he reached out his hand toward the meat. The instant his fingers touched it, a surge of vibrant life essence poured into his body. Clenching his fists in excitement, Lin Zichen thought, I was right after all. Shun Qinghan, however, looked at him as if he were crazy. Zichen, what does beast meat feel like? Is it really different from normal meat? He didn't tell her the truth. Instead, he said casually, not really, it just feels fresher. Want to try touching it yourself? Shun Qinghan quickly waved her hands. No, you can do the touching. Lin Zichen chuckled. Well, since we're here, let's buy some beast meat to take home. The package portions were perfect. He could use the excuse of buying them to touch and absorb more essence. Since beast meat was notoriously expensive, Lin Zichen settled for the cheapest option, the phantom squid. Shun Qinghan frowned with concern. Zichen, this is way too pricey. Shouldn't we ask Aunt Xin first before deciding? Lin Zichen patted her head gently. I already talked to my mom, and she even told me to buy more so your family can come over and try it too. In truth, he had another reason for buying the meat. He worried that absorbing life essence might cause it to spoil instantly, and he wanted to test it. He scanned the code and paid 3 Jin, totaling 2,994 yuan. As he walked out with the package, his heart ached. That's so expensive. Who knows when I'll be able to afford it again? By then it was already past 9, so they headed straight home. On the way back, Lin Zichen couldn't resist and decided to try it immediately. As soon as his hand touched the phantom squid's flesh, a system prompt appeared. Frowny Face, you have devoured a trace of the phantom squid's life essence. Codex progress, 0.1%. After Lin Zichen did the math, he realized that devouring 2 tails of phantom squid meat only pushed the codex progress up by 0.1%. By that calculation, he would need a full 100 gene to reach 100%. At 998 yuan per gene, that meant at least 100,000 yuan. The phantom squid's ability was to vanish completely in water. If he could unlock that skill, then the 100,000 yuan would be worth every coin. And this was already the cheapest beast meat available on the market. So he made up his mind. He had to find a way to make money. That kind of sum was enormous, and he couldn't just keep asking his family. Glancing back at the meat, he noted that even after some time had passed, it hadn't spoiled. Clearly, absorbing life essence didn't ruin the quality of the flesh. Encouraged, he boldly absorbed more of the phantom squid's essence in just moments. The codex progress shot up to 3%, but his focus slipped for a second, and he nearly bumped into a passerby. As he hurriedly apologized, Shun Qinghan suddenly pointed ahead. "Xiao Chun, look, it's Teacher Strawberry. She's being held hostage." Ahead, a group of police officers called out, "You're surrounded. Calm down and drop the weapon." The captain turned to a nearby officer. "Bin, don't fire recklessly. The distance is too close. He's skilled, using the hostage as cover and constantly moving that a stray shot could kill the hostage." Officer Bin argued anxiously, "But if we drag this out, the hostage will be in danger." "What if we try knockout gas, Captain?" The captain shook his head firmly. "No, knockout gas is too obvious. If it angers him before it takes effect, he could do something extreme." Just then, Lin Zichen bent down and picked up a stone. In the blink of an eye, the stone whizzed past Officer Bin's ear. Crack! It struck the criminal squarely on the hand that held the knife. The officers seized the opening and rushed in, quickly subduing the attacker. Lin Zichen gave Shun Qinghan a subtle gesture to stay quiet, intending to slip away with her. But at that moment, the captain shouted, "Stop right there, student! Was that stone you threw?" Lin Zichen waved his hands frantically. "And no, it wasn't me." Lin Zichen quickly pulled Shun Qinghan away. The captain muttered in confusion. "Strange, why won't he admit it? Acts of bravery come with a cash reward, you know?" The moment Lin Zichen heard the word reward, he froze in his tracks. Then, with even greater speed, he ran right back. Scratching his head, he said, "Oh yeah, I remember now. The stone was mine." The captain sighed. "Kid, come with me to file a report. I'll help you claim the reward." After informing their families, Lin Zichen and Shun Qinghan prepared to head to the station. He parked his bike in the park, locked it, and was ready to ride along to collect the very first payout of his hero persona. But then, disaster struck. The subdued criminal's body suddenly twisted, mutating into a giant rat before everyone's eyes. "Damn it! He's a cultist!" one officer shouted. "He's showing mutation symptoms. He's turning into a giant rat." The mutated beast lunged, pinning a female officer to the ground. The captain shouted into his comms, "Headquarters, this is Jiangbei West Road Park. A giant rat has appeared. Preliminary assessment. A cultist fused with Rat King genes. We are unable to contain. Requesting immediate reinforcements." Meanwhile, security officers had already drawn their guns and opened fire. Lin Zichen grabbed Teacher Strawberry with one arm and Shun Qinghan with the other, sprinting away as fast as he could. They hadn't gotten far when a cyborg swooped overhead. Lin Zichen froze in place and looked up, just in time to see the female cyborg slam her boots squarely into the rat's face, knocking it back several meters in an instant. She then opened the iron plating on her chest, charging up her laser cannon. In the next moment, two beams of violet light blasted forth. The instant they struck, the rat's flesh began to disintegrate. At last, its entire body crumbled into ash. Lin Zichen was stunned. This is the true power of a cyborg. Incredible. Afterward, he began pushing his bike to leave. But to his surprise, he noticed that the piece of beast meat from which he had absorbed life essence had already spoiled. He realized then, absorbing life essence really did cause meat to decay, only with a delay. As for explaining it. He'd have to make up an excuse, best depending on the cultists. Furious, Lin Zichen hurled the beast meat to the ground. "Damn it, that cultist's fault. The cyborg's attack was too strong. It burned the meat and spoiled it." Shun Qinghan quickly comforted him. "It's okay, Xiao Chun. The important thing is that we're safe." Originally, they planned to head straight home, but at the captain's request, they boarded a police car to return to the station for statements. To Lin Zichen's surprise, the cultist's corpse was also loaded onto the vehicle. Though reduced to a pile of charred remains, the stench was still overwhelming. Suddenly, a thought struck him. If the beast fangs still contained life essence, then wouldn't this corpse have some as well? Could he possibly devour the Rat King gene from it? Acting on that thought, he slowly extended his hand toward the remains. The moment his fingertips brushed the ashes, a system prompt appeared. Frowny face, you have devoured a trace of the giant rat's life essence. Giant rat codex progress. 5%. Lin Zichen was stunned. So much. It really is true. Freshness determines how much life essence can be absorbed. After finishing, he stretched lazily, disguising the act so Officer Bin wouldn't notice his suspicious behavior. Soon after, Lin Zichen arrived at the security team's office. The captain told him, "I've already submitted your application for the bravery reward. But tell me honestly, at that distance in such dim light, how could a middle schooler like you hit the cultist's hand so precisely with a stone?" Lin Zichen replied, "Maybe because I've trained my right hand a lot." The captain fell into a long, heavy silence. At that moment, the doors swung open, and Shen Qinghan entered with Lin Zichen's parents. His mother rushed forward and hugged him tightly. "Xiao Chun, are you all right? You scare me half to death." Lin Zichen quickly comforted her. "Don't worry, Mom, I'm fine, see? I even got a bravery reward." But his mother gripped his hand firmly. "Xiao Chun, promise me. Next time you face danger, you'll hide somewhere safe first. All I want is for you to grow up safe and sound." Holding her hand, Lin Zichen answered solemnly, "Mom, don't worry that I promise. I'll always protect myself first." As Lin Zichen left the security office, he overheard officers talking. The Rat God cult is getting bolder. They've infiltrated universities now, targeting students who can't qualify for gene fusion. The one killed tonight was a liberal arts student from Guanyin University who'd been lured in by them. Damn it, we need to wipe these traitors out completely. Lin Zichen thought to himself, that's just treating the symptoms, not the root cause. Oh, truly in this, the so-called Rat King has to be eliminated. Walking down the street, he pulled out his phone to search for information on the Rat God cult. He found that their base of operations was located right in Shanghai City. Most members were social outcasts, and their activity had grown alarmingly frequent this year. A sudden theory crossed his mind. Could it be that the Rat King is trying to evolve into a higher-tier creature, which is why he has his followers gathering massive amounts of resources? Has the Rat King already developed true intelligence? A moment later, while passing a side street, Lin Zichen spotted a rat larger than a cat. His pulse quickened. Could this be connected to the Rat King as well? He shook his head. Forget it. This is the South. Rats being as big as cats isn't unusual. At that moment, Lin Zichen noticed Shen Qinghan had gone unusually quiet. His mind raced. Could it be happening again? Whenever she was nervous or caught in a sudden situation, she'd lose control, just like when she was a child. Yet Lin Zichen couldn't shake the feeling that this condition might actually be tied to some kind of hidden potential. Back home, his mother gasped, "What? The meat's gone." Lin Zichen quickly explained, "Things got too hectic at the time that I couldn't hold on to it. I must have dropped it." His mother sighed, finally accepting it. "Forget IT, as long as you're safe. That's all that matters. Meat can be replaced." Lin Zichen exhaled in relief, thinking, "Good." She bought it. But the very next second, his father said, "No problem. I'll head back to the scene right now. Maybe I can still find it." Lin Zichen rushed to stop him. "Dad, it's too dangerous. Things aren't settled there yet. And even if you did find the meat, it'd already be spoiled. Don't risk your life over it." His father narrowed his eyes. "And how exactly do you know it's spoiled?" Lin Zichen stammered. I just guessed." Meanwhile, the security captain was still puzzling over how a middle schooler could possibly throw a stone with such force. Just then, he heard the sharp squeaks of a rat nearby. Following the sound, he spotted a massive, oversized rat. In the next instant, the rat lunged straight at him. The captain quickly opened fire. Moments later, the squealing stopped abruptly, the rat bursting into a cloud of blood and mist. The next day in class, Lin Zichen once again found himself lost in thought. Compared to last night's rat man and the female cyborg, he was still far too weak that he needed money, and fast, if he wanted to max out the Phantom Squid's codex progress. But scholarships from competitions were just too slow. He briefly considered becoming a study influencer or live streaming to sell tutorial courses. But he quickly dismissed the idea, and too flashy, too much exposure. No, my whole approach is wrong. In this world, gene-fused fighters and cyborgs were everywhere. Martial training was clearly valued above academics, and the prize money from martial arts tournaments dwarfed that of academic contests. Lin Zichen clenched his fist. This path is the right one. Time to act. Inside the gym, teacher Guo was sipping from his water bottle. Lin Zichen walked up and greeted him. Hello, teacher Guo. Teacher Guo's eyes lit up with excitement. Zichen, are you here to join directly? Or just to learn more about the martial arts team first? Lin Zichen asked quietly. If I join, will I have a chance to compete in the city martial arts tournaments? Do they pay well? Teacher Guo grinned proudly. Of course you'll have the chance, and the prize money isn't small. Each award is worth tens of thousands. Hearing this, Lin Zichen immediately grabbed his hand. Teacher, please, you must let me join the martial arts team. Teacher Guo then waved for all the team members to gather. Each of them gave a brief self-introduction. Lin Zichen nodded and greeted them in return. Since he had never formally trained before, Teacher Guo personally demonstrated a set of basic punches and kicks. After finishing the routine, Teacher Guo wiped the sweat from his brow and looked at him. Don't let the simple moves fool you that they're harder than they look. Even Xiao Li, the fastest learner on the team, needed a whole week to master them. Lin Zichen then began his practice. With the blessing of the heavenly root of wisdom, every move Teacher Guo had shown was already etched perfectly into his mind. Effortlessly, he replicated the punching routine. System prompt frowny face, you are practicing fist technique. Vitality +1, arm strength +1, hand agility +1, fist proficiency +1. Next, he moved on to the kicking drills. System prompt frowny face, you are practicing kick technique. Vitality +1, leg strength +1, leg agility +1, kick proficiency +1. Teacher Guo was utterly stunned. Impossible, absolutely impossible. His teammates were equally shocked. How can anyone master it after seeing it just once? In Teacher Guo's eyes, Lin Zichen was nothing less than a once-in-a-generation martial arts prodigy. That evening, his mother called him over for dinner. Lin Zichen rushed over with his bowl. Mom, what's for dinner tonight? With a proud smile, his mother replied. Of course, it's the phantom squid you've been longing for. A dish bursting with color, aroma, and flavor was placed on the table. Lin Zichen inhaled deeply. This smells amazing. Without hesitation, he took a bite. System prompt frowny face, you have devoured a trace of the phantom squid's life essence. Phantom squid codex progress, 3.01%. He froze. Wait, eating it works too? If I'd known, I wouldn't have bothered touching it back then. Just then, a news broadcast lit up the TV. A genius girl shocks the nation. At only 14, she has successfully fused with the heart of energy, becoming the youngest cyborg in history. The footage showed her activating her core, lifting a 2,000-kilogram SUV with one hand, sprinting 100 meters in just 3 seconds, and leaping 8 meters straight into the air. Lin Zichen pondered. The Kyoto prodigy of the past, this genius girl of today, between gene-fused warriors and cyborgs, who truly stands at the top? The next news report followed. Tragic news. Security Captain He Chun-chan was killed last night at 11 p.m. in his office. Surveillance footage shows he was devoured by a giant rat that had infiltrated the security division. Lin Zichen's expression darkened. Could be the same kind of giant rat from last night. The urgency to strengthen himself grew heavier in his chest. After more intensive training, his 100-meter sprint time had dropped to 4.61 seconds. His vertical leap had reached 5.51 meters, and he could now lift nearly 1,000 kilograms with one hand. His martial arts practice hadn't been neglected either. He was determined to raise his power quickly and prepare for the martial arts tournaments. Early the next morning, Lin Zichen headed to the gym to continue learning new techniques and training. Out of curiosity, Shun Qinghan decided to tag along. Just then, a senior girl suddenly appeared in front of him. Junior Zichen, you haven't had breakfast yet, right? I brought you some milk. It's fresh milk. Lin Zichen pulled Shun Qinghan along and said firmly, No thanks, I appreciate the thought. Unfortunately, this scene was witnessed by the notorious Simp Senior. His face twisted with anger. Damn it, it was bad enough he stole my championship at the school games. Now he dares to reject my goddess's gift? He stepped in front of Lin Zichen, snapping. Where's your manners? You could have just accepted it and passed it on to someone else. Like me, why go out of your way to hurt her feelings? Lin Zichen replied flatly. Wouldn't that be even ruder? The simp senior grew more furious. Then drink it. If you don't drink, you're disrespecting her. Disrespect is the height of rudeness. Finally, he issued a challenge. Lin Zichen, do you dare fight me? If I lose, I'll shut up forever. But if I win, you drink the whole carton of milk? At that moment, a system prompt flashed frowny face, achievement unlocked. In formal competitive scenarios, eliminate 1,000 different opponents through the most primal means. Reward, biological trait, survival of the fittest. Current progress, 01000. Lin Zichen chuckled, at last. After waiting so long, the fourth achievement quest has finally arrived. Lin Zichen looked at the simp senior and nodded. Find out, let's spar. The news spread through the school like wildfire. Students whispered excitedly. Did you hear? Lin Zichen is going to duel a senior in the gym. Let's go watch. Soon, the entire martial arts team had gathered, circling Lin Zichen and the simp senior in the middle of the arena. More classmates arrived to cheer. Junior Zichen, we'll be rooting for you. Teach him a lesson. Go, Junior Zichen. I'll snap tons of awesome photos of you in action. Hearing the support aimed at Lin Zichen, the simp senior scowled inwardly. T-Sich, they all think I'll lose? I'm just striking while this so-called prodigy hasn't fully developed yet. Better crush him now, or in another month his freakish talent will leave me no chance to show off. Seeing his opponent still lost in daydreams, Lin Zichen cut in bluntly. Hey, I've got dinner waiting at home. Can we make this quick? Fine, I'll grant you that. The simp senior replied with arrogant confidence. Teacher Guo raised his hand. Remember, friendship first, sparring second. Begin. But at that moment, the simp senior suddenly shouted, Wait! Puffing himself up, he declared, You've only been in a team for a month, while I've trained nearly 2 years. To be fair, I'll let you have 3 moves first. Before he even finished speaking, Lin Zichen had already dashed right up to him. Fine, I'll grant you that, Lin Zichen said, and threw a single punch. The simp senior collapsed to the ground instantly. Foam bubbled from his mouth as he lay sprawled out, unable to move. Teacher was jaw-dropped. What? Just one punch? The watching students were equally stunned. No way, are you serious? That's it. It's over already. From the sidelines, Shun Qinghan waved her arms. He won. Zichen won. 2 senior girls jumped with excitement. So cool. Junior Zichen. System prompt /. You have defeated a rival, successfully capturing female admiration. Priority, mate selection granted. Current progress, 1/1000. Lin Zichen thought to himself, still 999 more rivals to eliminate before unlocking survival of the fittest. He turned toward the senior brothers nearby. How about you guys? Want to take this chance to spar with me too? At his words, the seniors stiffened instantly. Within seconds, they scrambled for excuses and slipped away. By now, the simp senior had gotten back on his feet, shouting angrily, I don't accept this. You caught me off guard. If we go again, I'll crush you for sure. Teacher will cut him off coldly. Zhang Kai, you lost. Accept it. Whether that punch was just luck or true strength, we'll know soon enough. Shaoli, you test it. Shaoli, step up. The would-be escapee jolted in fright, as his name was called. Shaoli braced himself across from Lin Zichen, forcing a wry smile. Sorry, Junior, just don't hit the face, all right? 10 minutes later, the floor was littered with fallen seniors. To avoid looking too outrageous, Lin Zichen had deliberately exchanged a few rounds before knocking each one down. But the system only logged the victory over Zhang Kai. The other seniors, though defeated, didn't count toward his tally. So sparring doesn't work? It has to be an official defeat? At that moment, Teacher Guo clapped him hard on the shoulder, his face glowing with excitement. A genius. Zichen, you're truly a genius. You've only been in the martial arts team for a little over a month, and you're already our ace. This year's district martial arts tournament, we at Shanghai Middle School will crush the competition and take first place. Lin Zichen's eyes lit up. That's it. the martial arts tournament. If I win matches there, every victory should push my achievement progress forward. At that moment, the simp senior suddenly shouted at Lin Zichen. Lin Zichen, I Zhangkai admit my loss. From now on, even if you sat on my head and took a dump, I still wouldn't dare complain. Everyone around recoiled in disgust at his words. Before he could even finish, the crowd scattered like the wind. In the days that followed, Shun Qinghan also began training with Lin Zichen, determined to qualify for the martial arts class. After a 3,000-meter jog, he had her practice martial arts techniques for an hour to refine her punches and kicks. Then he made her do sit-ups and push-ups to build raw strength and body resilience. Each session ended with him helping her stretch and massage her muscles for recovery. Meanwhile, Lin Zichen pushed himself even harder, doubling his own regimen. To unlock the survival of the fittest trait as soon as possible, he was willing to risk everything. Time flew by, and after a month of relentless preparation, the day of the martial arts tournament finally arrived. Not long after, the principal of Shanghai High personally came to Lin Zichen's home and discussed matters with them for an hour. In the end, it was nothing more than expressing his hope that Lin Zichen would stay on at Shanghai High. Before leaving, the principal looked at Lin Zichen and said, "As long as you agree to continue studying at Shanghai High, you can tell me any of your ideas directly." Lin Zichen quickly pulled Shun Qinghan to his side. "Thank you, principal. I only have one request. I hope Shun Qinghan can continue to be in the same class as me." The principal leaned closer and looked at Shun Qinghan. "Shun Qinghan, right? When school starts, you'll report to Shanghai High together with Lin Zichen." Before leaving, the principal even made an okay gesture. The two of them quickly thanked him. "Thank you, principal." After settling on his high school, Lin Zichen faced the last martial arts tournament of his junior high years. As expected, he once again led Shanghai Junior High to claim the championship. After receiving the prize money, Lin Zichen headed alone into a dense forest. At this point, he was only 20% away from unlocking the Ghost Squid Codex. Since he had no idea what uncontrollable effects might occur, he deliberately chose the mountains near Shanghai City to carry it out. Lin Zichen began devouring, and the system immediately prompted, "You have devoured a large amount of the Ghost Squid's life essence. Ghost Squid Codex, 100%. You have successfully unlocked the Ghost Squid Codex and obtained the biological trait, Blessing of Water Fusion. This greatly enhances your affinity with water, allowing you to move freely in it, vanishing without a trace." After reading the effect, Lin Zichen felt a bit disappointed. Blessing of Water Fusion? Why does this feel kinda useless? He quickly tested it in a nearby pond and found that after soaking for a long time, his skin didn't swell like before. While swimming, the resistance of the water felt noticeably lighter, but beyond that, there wasn't much else. Still, he thought it was reasonable. The ghost squid was only a low-level beast, without even the value of gene fusion. To gain better biological traits, he could just save money and buy them later. It was only a matter of time. Or once his strength improved, he could hunt wild beasts and devour them. For example, those giant mutant rats. With less than a week before the new semester, Lin Zichen's mother and Shun Qinghan's family decided on a joint trip. To better test the blessing of water fusion, Lin Zichen suggested going to the seaside. This was Shun Qinghan's first time at the ocean. Standing in the water, she only felt the chill of the waves. Lin Zichen, however, dove in and started swimming, his stats rising as he moved through the sea. Shun Qinghan called out to him, "Xiao Chun, don't just swim on your own. Come teach me how to swim." It turned out she didn't know how to swim, so it was the perfect chance to teach her. Lin Zichen began instructing her patiently, but since her athletic talent seemed average, he figured she probably wouldn't pick it up. To his surprise, he was proven wrong right away. Shun Qinghan managed to learn almost instantly. She then ducked her head underwater. To her astonishment, her eyes didn't sting at all. Instead, she could clearly see everything beneath the surface. The next second, she suddenly popped back up, startling Lin Zichen. Shun Qinghan exclaimed excitedly, "Wow, Xiao Chun, I'm amazing. I always heard people say it hurts to open your eyes in the ocean, but I don't feel a thing. It's just cool and refreshing. It feels great." Watching Shun Qinghan master swimming so quickly, Lin Zichen fell in a deep thought. Even with natural talent, there was no way she could have learned to swim instantly. It was far too unusual. Wait, could it be because of that? Could her childhood bedwetting actually be tied to an innate affinity with water? Perhaps that was the only explanation that made sense. Astonishing, really. Maybe Shun Qinghan's previous life had been like one of those special cultivation physiques from a Xinxia novel. That would be insane, far stronger than his own crappy system that required endless grinding. Next, he dove underwater with Shun Qinghan, but once again her performance left him stunned. They had been holding their breath underwater for over 10 minutes. For a complete beginner, heck, even for trained swimmers, that was no small feat. But then, an accident occurred. Shun Qinghan suddenly heard a strange sound coming from beneath the water. Startled, she immediately swam frantically toward the surface. As she emerged, Lin Zichen looked at her and asked, "What happened? Why did you suddenly get so tense?" Shun Qinghan, still shaken, said, "Just now I kept hearing a strange sound in my ear. It was creepy." Lin Zichen asked what kind of sound it was. Shun Qinghan shook her head and replied, "I couldn't understand it. Maybe it was a language I don't know. All I know is that it was a woman's voice, very real, echoing in my ear until it vanished when I surfaced." To calm her down, Lin Zichen immediately brought her back to the hotel. Later, he searched on his phone but couldn't find anything matching her description. The mystery left him unable to sleep, so he threw himself into training. The system prompt rang out. "You've completed a full day of weighted sit-ups. Vitality plus 2,000. Abdominal strength plus 2,000. Sit-up proficiency plus 1,000. Your biological level has advanced to ordinary rank 5. He hadn't expected such a surprise. Ordinary rank 5. Already strong enough to take on a fully grown mutant rat. Confidence surged within him. If he kept training, even ripping a rat apart with his bare hands might not be impossible. After his breakthrough, Lin Zichen tested himself on a deserted beach. Now, his 100-meter sprint took only 3.64 seconds. His vertical jump reached 6.98 meters, and he could lift a car weighing about 1,600 kilograms with a single hand. Compared to when he first broke into ordinary rank 4, the improvement was massive. Carrying these gains, he and Shun Qinghan stepped together into the beginning of their high school life. Thanks to Lin Zichen's outstanding performance, he had barely started school before drawing plenty of attention from the girls. "Ah, is that Lin Zichen? He's so handsome in person, and he's on cleaning duty the same day as us. What luck!" Unexpectedly, on that very day of duty, a new quest was triggered. Achievement: complete 1,000 tasks in cooperation with others. Reward: gain the biological trait, social animal. Current progress: 1 out of 1,000. Lin Zichen wondered to himself. He had no idea what effect social animal would bring, but sounded promising. Since school had just started and there wasn't much to do, he took the chance to visit the supermarket again. After all, with the Ghost Squid Codex already unlocked, it was time to choose a new target. That was when he suddenly spotted a type of mutant beast meat. The label read, "Violent Eagle, 1,998 per gene." A smile spread across his face. "I'll go with this one." The Violent Eagle was a beast ranked higher than the Ghost Squid. Its eyesight was exceptionally sharp, 30 times stronger than that of an ordinary human. Because of this, its hunting ability was terrifying, able to strike even rabbits that moved so fast they left only after images. Lin Zichen looked at the eagle meat in his hand and thought, if my vision improves, my combat power will soar as well. The Violent Eagle is definitely worth devouring, and besides, its meat is the second cheapest. As he placed his hand on the meat, the system prompt appeared. You have devoured a trace of the Violent Eagle's life essence. Violent Eagle Codex, 1%. He quickly calculated that every gene of meat would raise the Codex progress by 1%. That meant it would take over 200,000 to fully unlock the Violent Eagle Codex. It seemed that in high school, he would have to work even harder in competitions to save money. Fortunately, the prize money for high school martial arts tournaments was far greater than in junior high. Clenching his fist with tears in his eyes, he muttered, "I'll light up the Violent Eagle Codex before sophomore year." Summer vacation ended, and Lin Zichen finally stepped into his high school life. On the first day of the new semester, the homeroom teacher and other subject teachers entered the classroom to introduce themselves. Hello, everyone. I'm Han Yuanfeng, your martial arts training teacher, and also your homeroom teacher. Hello, I'm Kai Yunfei, the mechanical modification teacher. Hello, I'm Chung Bei, the wilderness survival teacher. Hello, I'm Lu Diren, the gene fusion teacher. Then it was the students' turn for introductions. Hello, everyone. My name is Chu Yushi, and my specialty is music, chess, calligraphy, and painting. My name is Zhong Yijia. I like watching anime, doing cosplay, and playing sports. I'm Peng Huoguang. Most of the time, I just like staying at home playing video games. Soon, it was Shun Qinghan's turn to introduce herself. With so many eyes on her, she was extremely nervous. Hello, everyone, and my name is Shun Qinghan. I usually like drawing, and please take care of me in the future. Lin Zichen's introduction was probably the shortest in the class. Hello, everyone. My name is Lin Zichen. Please take care of me. Once the introductions ended, the class bell rang. Then someone asked, Shun Qinghan, what was your high school entrance exam score? She turned and saw it was a twin-tailed girl beside her. Shun Qinghan politely answered, I scored 709. What about you, Chu Xian? Chu Xian's eyes lit up. That's amazing. You're more than 10 points higher than me. I only scored 698. She quickly followed up. Then what was your physical test score? I messed up during mine and only got 95. It was terrible. Now, it was Shun Qinghan's turn to feel embarrassed. The physical test had a maximum score of 100, and getting 95 was already the mark of a top student. She had only scored 79, 11 points below the cutoff for this elite class. That score was impossible to admit out loud, so she stammered, I didn't do as well as you. But Chu Xen pressed further. So how much was it? 94? 93? Shun Qinghan lowered her voice even more. Lower than that. Chu Xen wouldn't let go. 92? 91? Or maybe 90? Lin Zichen, unable to watch any longer, slammed his hand on the desk. Leaning closer to Chu Xian, he grinned. Hey, mind if I add you on WeChat? Chu Xian's face turned red instantly. The handsome guy is actually asking to add me? What kind of divine luck do I have today? She hurriedly replied, Why yes, of course, scam me. Shun Qinghan looked at Lin Zichen with gratitude. Thank goodness Zichen helped me out. If she kept asking, I wouldn't know what to say. It was too embarrassing. Lin Zichen then turned to another boy. You. Let's add each other too. Sure, scam me. After adding them as friends, Lin Zichen casually created a small group chat, pulling the four of them together, just enough to qualify as a cooperative team. System prompt, total cooperative tasks completed, 2 out of 1,000. Lin Zichen was surprised. He hadn't expected this to count as a team effort. This achievement quest really is as easy as breathing. After creating the group chat, the four quickly got to know each other. He was from nearby Nangguan City, born into a martial arts family that had run dojos for generations. He had even placed 8th in a Nangguan Youth Martial Arts Tournament, bringing honor to his clan. Li Chuxin's family owned several clothing shops across the district, making her a bona fide little rich girl. Lin Zichen and Shun Qinghan also share their backgrounds, and before long, the four of them had become a close-knit circle. Just as the conversation was winding down, He suddenly raised a new topic. Guess who's the strongest in our class? I bet you'll never guess. Li Chuxin immediately pointed at Lin Zichen. I think it's Zichen. He's our district's entrance exam champion. He froze. Damn, Zichen, you're that impressive? But then he shook his head. Still, being district champion isn't the peak. Believe it or not, there are two real monsters in our class. The principal spent a fortune bringing them in from Nangguan. The boy in the third row by the window is Wang Shujia. He ranked third in Nangguan's entrance exam, and his 100-meter sprint time is 7.98 seconds. And that big guy in the back row, far right, that's Liu Gang. He was born with monstrous strength and can easily lift a 300-kilogram barbell with one hand. Shun Qinghan was stunned. Wow, that's amazing. Li Chuxin covered her mouth. Oh my god, seriously? Lin Zichen exhaled in relief. To him, a 7.98-second sprint and lifting 300 kilograms with one hand were things he had already surpassed back in elementary school. Soon, The class bell rang again. It was time to hand out the textbooks. Only 4 of them, covering the main courses: martial arts training, gene fusion, mechanical modification, and wilderness survival. Lin Zichen had already studied all 4 subjects on his own when he was younger, so during free activity time, he slipped off to a secluded spot to train. After all, the threat of the rat god cult still loomed. The police had only managed to catch a few cultists, while the Rat King himself had yet to show even a shadow. That was why he had to raise his strength to rank 6 or higher. As long as he reached that level, he could stand his ground even against mutant rats. In the afternoon, the first practical class was wilderness survival. The teacher pointed at a pile of wood and asked, "Can anyone start a fire by friction?" He couldn't help but grumble. That kind of skill is useless in real life. Who would ever bother learning it? But the very next second, Wang Shujie and Lu Gang were already rubbing sticks together. He was left dumbfounded on the spot. The teacher chuckled. "What's going on? You two are incredible. Don't tell me you even know fire making by friction." Lu Gang smirked. "Teacher, I took a summer class back in junior high and learned it there." Wang Shujie said proudly, "I taught myself online back in elementary school." Soon, the other students began practicing as well. Lin Zichen quickly taught his Dawn Squad teammates a few tricks to master fire starting. Next came martial arts training. "Today, I'll be teaching you a special breathing technique," the teacher announced. No sooner had the words left his mouth and the 2 boys from Nangguan started showing off again. It was kind of funny, but they really pulled it off. Lin Zichen, however, already knew these techniques, yet chose to keep a low profile as always. Before they knew it, more than a month had passed, and it was time for the monthly exam. The homeroom teacher adjusted his glasses. "For this test, I've set up some rewards. First place gets 888 yuan in cash, second place gets 666, and third place gets 333. Lin Zichen perked up instantly. "Cash prizes? And first place is worth 888 yuan? That's practically enough to buy half a gene of violent eagle meat." The exam began, and with money on the line, everyone gave it their all. An hour later, it was over. Coincidentally, the gene fusion teacher, Lu Diren, also scheduled a test with the exact same rewards. After 2 rounds of exams, he was already slumped in defeat. Meanwhile, the other students started complaining. "Damn, these questions are brutal. They actually asked me the energy wavelength of a laser cannon. Who memorizes that? Even if I did, what's the point?" Seriously, the test was way too hard and way too niche. And that final problem was insane, asking about the relationship between a reverse thrust airflow device and atmosphere pressure and making us calculate the exact numbers with all those decimals. What the hell? Ugh, I was hoping for a 90. Now I'll be lucky to scrape a passing 60. While everyone was still complaining about how brutal the test was, the Nangguan duo who loved to show off started bragging again. Wang Shujie went first. "That test was kind of tough. How did you do?" Lu Gang shrugged and said, "I probably scored a 95. I only missed the last question." "You?" Wang Shujie replied calmly. "Same here. Only the final sub-question tripped me up. I guess I'll be at 95 too." You couldn't hold back. "Come on. Here we go with the humble brag again. Do they have to flex non-stop? I kind of want to punch them." Soon the grades were posted. First up, mechanical modification. Guo Yanling, 52. Shen Qinghan, 61. Shen Qinghan turned back, beaming. "Xiao Chun, I passed." Lin Zichen smiled. "Hard work pays off? Well deserved." He scored 88. The class erupted. "Wow, Hiyu, that's awesome." Hiyu sat perfectly straight, but was ecstatic inside. Thinking, "Guys, once I grab third place and that 333 yuan, I'll treat you all to something nice." But the teacher immediately doused his hopes. Lu Gang, 95. Wang Shujie, 95. The 2 were beasts, missing only that final question. Wang Shujie said proudly, "Teacher, that last problem had a lot of calculation. Give me 10 more minutes, and I'd have worked it out." Lu Gang grinned. "Same here." He was instantly annoyed. Damn it, they're showing off again. Still, third place should be mine. But the teacher's next words crushed his hopes. "This exam was tough, but you might not believe it. Someone in our class scored a perfect 100. Lin Zichen, the most shocked with a bragging duo. 100? He actually got a perfect score? How? How is that even possible? This is insane." He screamed inwardly, "Holy crap! Lin Zichen is that strong." Shen Qinghan looked at him with delight. "Zichen, you're amazing." Li Chuxin even pumped her fist. "Glory to Shanghai." Lin Zichen raised his hand. "Teacher, will the 888 yuan prize for first place be given out?" The teacher replied, "Don't worry. I'll send the prize as a personal red envelope in the class group chat." An hour later, the gene fusion exam results were announced. The Nangguan duo, Lu Gang scored 81, Wang Shujie scored 83. For a test where most students had failed, this was impressive, barely reaching the excellence line. But the two clearly weren't satisfied with a result they couldn't brag about. Shen Qinghan scored 78, good enough to rank in the top 5. And once again, Lin Zichen scored a perfect 100, pocketing another prize. Hiyu, Wang Shujie, and Lu Gang all felt another blow to their pride. The Nangguan duo raised their hands and challenged. This paper was so hard. How could anyone possibly score full marks? Maybe he had the answers ahead of time. The teacher immediately denied it. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. He continued, "I personally wrote all the questions on this test. You can't find the answers online. There's no way to cheat." The duo had nothing left to say. Hiyu then sneered, "This is ridiculous. If you fail, you fail. Don't be a sore loser and start accusing others of cheating. It's embarrassing for us from Nangguan." Li Chuxin chimed in, "Exactly. Wang Shujie's behavior is tacky. People like that always make a scene." Lunch passed in a blink, and Class 1A quickly moved on to the afternoon wilderness survival exam. The rewards matched the other subjects. The exam consisted of 3 parts: rock climbing and tree climbing, swimming, and starting a fire by friction. Wang Shujie leaned toward Lu Gang and said, "Lu Gang, we didn't beat him in the 2 theory tests this morning. This afternoon, wilderness survival and martial arts. We have to take back our face." Lu Gang clenched his fist. "Don't worry, I'll go all out and smash him, avenge our shame." The exam began. The first event was rock climbing, judged by speed. Lin Zichen easily left the Nangguan duo behind and took first place. Next came tree climbing. As expected, the duo was left in the dust again. Wang Shujie was in despair. "No way. Lin Zichen is way too insane. I gave it everything I had." Lu Gang roared inwardly, "Damn it. I can't even see his shadow." But Lin Zichen was more concerned about Shen Qinghan. She hadn't even finished the climb, predictably landing in last place. Still, it didn't matter. He knew once the swimming event came, she would regain her confidence. Then came the fire starting challenge. For the sake of the prize money, Lin Zichen had no choice but to crush the duo again. He lit a flame in just 58 seconds. Wang Shujie's mind reeled. I swear in class he wasn't this fast. How is Lin Zichen so quick at everything? His hands are unreal. The final event was swimming. This time, Shen Qinghan absolutely crushed the Nangguan duo, dealing an even heavier blow to their pride. What? Lin Zichen being faster, I can accept, but Shen Qinghan suddenly exploding like this? No way. I must be too nervous. It has to be an illusion. After the wilderness survival exam, Wang Shujie and Lu Gang went completely quiet, not saying a word for a long time. Next came the martial arts test, sparring on the arena stage. This reignited the Nangguan duo's hope of showing off. So what if he aced the survival skills? In a martial arts class, what matters is the martial. It's about physical strength and technique. If your combat ability is weak, no amount of other achievements will save you. In sparring, I'll reclaim the top spot I lost. Before the sparring began, the teacher arranged a physical assessment as a warm-up. 3 stats were measured: 100-meter sprint speed, maximum single-arm lift, and standing vertical jump height. Lin Zichen clocked 7.78 seconds in the sprint and lifted a 330 kilograms barbell with one hand. His standing vertical jump reached 2.18 meters, first place in every category. To avoid standing out too much, Lin Zichen hadn't even gone all out, only edging slightly past Wang Shujie and Lu Gang's results. It still stunned them. He's faster than me in the sprint, and this guy was only a district champion in the entrance exams? That makes no sense. His strength is greater too, even though he doesn't look that muscular. Could it be that he just hadn't fully developed back then? But they quickly encouraged each other. Lu Gang, don't panic. Losing in the test doesn't mean losing in the spar. Real combat isn't just about stats. It's about martial arts technique. We still have a chance. Yeah, losing the assessment doesn't mean losing the fight. Our martial skills are way beyond our peers. We still have a shot. After the physical test, everyone moved to the arena to begin sparring, wanting to quickly complete the survival of the fittest achievement. Lin Zichen was the first to step onto the stage. But with his test results still fresh in everyone's mind, no one dared to challenge him. Even Wang, Shujie, and Lu Gang stayed back to observe. The teacher finally had to call someone out. Lu Wei, get up there and spar with Zichen. Lu Wei was frozen, but he nervously climbed onto the platform. To save time, Lin Zichen finished the fight in an instant. One punch, and it was over. Since he aimed to challenge everyone in class before the bell rang. He kept accelerating, dropping opponents in seconds, showing no mercy, not even to the girls. The Nangguan duo was stunned. No way, Lin Zichen's this strong? I bet he wasn't even going all out in the physical test. How is anyone supposed to fight him? At that moment, He leapt onto another platform. Pointing at Lu Gang, he shouted, "Lu Gang, I'm warmed up now. This is my peak state. Do you dare fight me?" Lu Gang leapt onto the platform, secretly pleased. If he hadn't challenged me, I'd have to face Lin Zichen. Beating Lin Zichen? No chance. But beating you? That I can handle. He charged straight at Lu Gang, throwing a flurry of punches and kicks, all of which Lu Gang absorbed head-on. Then Lu Gang seized the chance and grabbed Hiyu by the leg. With both hands, he hurled Hiyu into the air, and with a final toss, sent him flying clean off the platform. Lu Gang smirked. "Hiyu, among everyone I've fought, your hand-to-hand skills are the best. I'll admit you're the strongest in the class when it comes to technique, but unfortunately, I'm still a step above you." Watching this, Lin Zichen vaulted over from another platform. "Perfect. I can snag another achievement point. Otherwise, no one will dare step up." He looked at Lu Gang and said, "Come on, let's spar." Lu Gang forced a grin. "Bring it on. Who's afraid of who?" He charged first. Take this move. Lu Gang unleashed a technique passed down from an old master. But as he closed in on Lin Zichen sidestepped with lightning speed. Holy crap, so fast. He followed up with a punch, and Lu Gang was sent tumbling off the platform. From the crowd, someone jeered, "Wang Shujie, your buddy just got wrecked. Aren't you going to get up and avenge him?" "Yeah, protect Nangguan's glory. Don't chicken out. Wang Shujie, get up." Wang Shujie leapt onto the stage and shouted, "Shut up. I was going to go up anyway. Quiet down. What's meant to happen will happen. I'll find a way to beat him." At that moment, Lin Zichen stood before Wang Shujie like an immovable mountain. Under immense pressure, Wang Shujie finally charged at Lin Zichen. But his powerful punch was effortlessly caught. Lin Zichen didn't even flinch. In the next instant, Lin Zichen countered with a single blow straight to the chest. Wang Shujie collapsed, foam spilling from his mouth, completely out of the fight. One by one, Lin Zichen proceeded to take down every other male in the class. According to the survival of the fittest challenge rule, the same opponent, no matter how many times defeated, only counts as one victory, which meant from now on, Lin Zichen could only spar with the girls. As he wondered whether any of them would even dare to go up, the girls below were already buzzing with excitement. Some even looked too eager. One bold girl shot her hand into the air. "Lin Zichen, I challenge you." Without hesitation, she flipped onto the stage and lunged straight at him. Thankfully, Lin Zichen reacted fast, sidestepped, and tapped her back with a light palm strike. The girl fell flat on the mat, but instead of getting angry, she sighed with mock regret. "Ugh, so close. I almost got to hug him." To his surprise, even the other girls started stepping up to challenge him, of course. Lin Zichen held back every time. He never went full force against them. After all, this was about completing the survival of the fittest mission, not bullying classmates. Before long, every girl had taken her turn. Yet the task progress bar was still far from completion. Just as a hint of frustration crept in, the teacher announced a piece of thrilling news. 1 month from now, our class will face off against the strongest sophomore class. A perfect opportunity dropped right into his lap, exactly what he needed to speed up his mission progress. Talk about divine timing. As the dismissal bell rang, Lu Gang walked past him with a smirk. I thought Shanghai High had no real opponents. Guess I was wrong. From today on, you're my rival for the next 3 years. Wang Shujie followed up with his own vow. Losing now doesn't mean I'll lose forever. Before graduation, I'll make you pay that back. Lin Zichen, however, didn't hear a single word. He was too busy calculating. Today's prize was supposed to be 1,000 credits, but I earned over 3,000. That's enough for a full pound of lean beast meat. Sweet. That night, he sat down at his desk and began typing furiously. The bonus money was nice, but still far from enough to buy the rare beast meat codex. He needed to unlock new tiers to make extra cash. He registered as a web novel author and officially began his writer's journey. When he woke up the next morning, he couldn't believe his eyes. An email notification. Congratulations, your novel has been signed for publication. Excited, Lin Zichen logged into his author dashboard, only for a breaking news headline to flash before him. 2 hours ago, a massive mutant rat attacked a beast meat storage facility on the city's outskirts. The creature, over 5 meters long, bit a cyborg guard clean in half. The cyborg triggered its backup energy core, initiating self-detonation. Result: mutant rat terminated on the spot. Lin Zichen couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. How many of those giant mutant rats are still hiding inside Shanghai City? Creatures that big. How could they stay hidden for so long without being discovered? 1 month later, the day of the interclass sparring match finally arrived. Their teacher gathered the top students around, discussing tactics and match order. When a match began, Lin Zichen immediately volunteered to go first. He wanted to finish the survival of the fittest objective as fast as possible. But the girl on the opposing team protested. Teacher, he's literally their strongest. I'm the weakest in my class. How is this fair? The opposing teacher frowned and approached Han Yuanfeng. Come on, Feng Ji. You know the rule. Weakest fights first. You can't just send your strongest out in round 1. That's breaking tradition. Han sighed helplessly. Lin Zichen, step down for now. Let the first match go by the book. Lin Zichen had no choice but to nod and leave the stage. Han pointed toward a girl sitting nervously in the corner. Yintang, you go first. The girl panicked, waving her hands frantically. And me? I'm not ready yet. Then, another girl stood up. Teacher Han, I'm the weakest. I should go first. It was Shun Qinghan. Moments later, she stepped onto the stage. Her hands were trembling slightly, tension written all over her face. From the sidelines, He Yu and Li Chuxin shouted, Come on, Qinghan, you can do it. Don't hold back. The encouragement only made her even more nervous. The girl across from her didn't hesitate. She charged forward like a bullet. Caught off guard, Shun Qinghan instinctively raised both arms to block. I can't win this fight, she thought, but if I can last longer, I'll wear her down. 3 minutes later, the senior girl on the opposing team was already gasping for air. She quickly realized she couldn't keep this up. If it dragged on any longer, she'd run out of stamina. Time to end this. With a sharp step forward, she launched a heavy punch. BM. Shun Qinghan was sent flying across the stage. She crashed hard off the edge, landing with a thud below the ring. The crowd let out a collective gasp. Though defeated, Shun Qinghan immediately got up and ran toward Lin Zichen's side. Teacher Han offered her an encouraging smile. Not bad, Qinghan. You played defensively to drain your opponent's stamina. Smart move. Lin Zichen nodded approvingly. Yeah, lasting over 3 minutes against a senior who's trained a whole year longer than you? That's solid progress. The next girl stepped up, confidence flashing in her eyes that she's tired. I can finish this. With a swift motion, she swung a low roundhouse kick. But the senior slipped to the side with a smooth pivot, dodging effortlessly. She countered instantly. Her fist slammed into the challenger's cheek. The impact threw the girl off balance, and before she could react, the senior tackled her down, pinning her under her hips. The poor girl tapped the floor rapidly, conceding defeat. Standing up, the senior brushed off her uniform with a smug grin. Humph. All offense and no defense? What's that supposed to be? Are you looking down on the ordinary class? The girl on the ground clenched her fists, swallowing her frustration. The senior sneered again. Sure, you might have better talent, but I've trained an extra year. Come back after another year of practice before you dare face me again. Just then, Another girl stepped up onto the stage. Li Chuxin clenched her fists, fire in her eyes. "Qinghan, I'll avenge you. Watch me beat that senior down." The moment the match began, Li Chuxin exploded forward. Her very first punch landed flush, sending the opponent flying off the ring. Instant victory. From the sidelines, Shun Qinghan cheered with sparkling eyes. "Chuxin, you're amazing." Lin Zichen chuckled, ruffling her hair gently. "You're amazing too. If you hadn't drained that senior stamina earlier, Chuxin wouldn't have taken the win so easily." 2 hours later, the long series of matches had nearly wrapped up. The martial arts instructor from the senior class turned to Han Yuanfeng with a grin. "Fengji, looks like your class is down to just 4 students. Guess I'll be enjoying that free dinner you owe me." Han Yuanfeng only smiled calmly, arms folded across his chest. "Don't celebrate too soon. The real fight starts now." Wang Shujia, Lin Zichen, Lu Gang, and Hiyu, they're the true aces of Class 1. He looked over to one of them. "Hiyu, you're up next." "Got it." Hiyu jumped onto the stage in one smooth motion, landing solidly in the center. Cracking his knuckles, Hiyu smirked, voice full of bravado. "My fists have been starving all day. Senior, are you ready to taste how hard they hit?" The senior tilted his head, unimpressed. "Kid, can you not sound so cringe?" Hiyu's grin vanished. "Cringe? You just ruined my cool moment. Get lost." He lashed out with a brutal kick straight to the face. Thud! The senior flew backward, tumbling right off the ring. Hands in his pockets, Hiyu sneered. "Seriously? That's it? And you call me childish?" A heavy thump echoed as another challenger jumped up onto the stage. This one had a ridiculous watermelon haircut. "You're getting cocky, brat," he barked. "Let me turn up the intensity." The senior lunged, swinging a heavy punch toward Hiyu. But Hiyu shifted sideways, the blow slicing through empty air. "What the?" the senior gasped. "How did he dodge that?" "Too slow." Hiyu snapped, flipping backward into a rising kick. Crack! His heel slammed into the senior's chin. The watermelon head senior flew out of the arena like a rag doll. From below the stage, Li Chuxin and Shun Qinghan shouted with glee. "Hiyu, you're killing it. Go, Hiyu! Smash them all." One after another, Hiyu kept knocking opponents down, his strikes sharp, his footwork fierce. Breathing heavily, he raised a fist and roared. "Next! Hurry up! I could still take down 10 more." Though he tried to stay on his feet, after taking down 5 opponents in a row, his stamina finally gave out. He collapsed in defeat against the 6th challenger. At that point, Class 1 of Grade 1 had only 3 fighters left, while the seniors of Class 6 still had 13. Seeing the situation, Han Yuanfeng called out the next name. "Wang Shujia, your turn." The moment Wang Shujia stepped onto the stage, the atmosphere shifted. He tore through the enemy lineup, defeating 10 in a row. But when he faced the 11th, his body finally gave up. Exhausted beyond limit, he fell in battle. Next up was Lu Gang, the class powerhouse. In less than 10 minutes, he crushed 2 senior captains with explosive speed. Han Yuanfeng grinned, his tone laced with mockery. "Seems like you're down to your last man. Care to surrender early?" The opposing instructor crossed his arms, still confident. "Not so fast. Wang Jinhe, your time to shine." The floor thudded as a massive figure stepped into the ring. A 500-pound behemoth, round, towering, and moving like a walking fortress. Lu Gang cracked his neck, smirking. "So what if you're big? You'll still end up flat on the ground." With a roar, he charged in and threw a heavy punch straight at the giant's gut. Thump! The hit landed perfectly, but the result was strange. Lu Gang froze, eyes wide. "Wait a sec. Why does that feel like punching rubber?" Gritting his teeth, he unleashed a flurry of blows. Bam! 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 Yet the massive opponent didn't even flinch. Gasping for air, Lu Gang stepped back, drenched in sweat. "Damn it, too much fat. His body's like armor. I can't even make a dent." At last, Wang Jinhe finally moved. He raised his massive, meaty hand and spoke with a chilling calm. "Finished already? Then I guess it's my turn." Before Lu Gang could react, the giant lunged forward and wrapped his thick fingers around Lu Gang's neck. Lu Gang clawed at his arm desperately, but it was useless. The strength behind that grip was monstrous. With a casual flick, Wang Jinhe tossed him aside like a rag doll. Bam! Liu Gang slammed into the ground outside the ring, completely defeated. Han Yuanfeng's brows furrowed deeply. Wait a second. I don't remember your class having someone this strong. The opposing instructor chuckled smugly. Oh, right. He's a transfer student. Joined this semester. Guess that explains it, huh? Looks like your class is done for. And don't forget our little wager. Losers by the entire winning class dinner. Han Yuanfeng turned away, fists trembling, muttering under his breath. Damn it. I didn't see that coming. That monster. There's no way Lin Zichen can beat him. Ugh. I underestimated them. Totally got played. After a long exhale, he approached Lin Zichen, patting his shoulder. Zichen, you're up next. Just treat it as experience. Learn what you can. Don't worry about the outcome. Lin Zichen smiled calmly, eyes firm. Don't worry, Teacher Han. I'll win. Moments later, Lin Zichen stood across from the colossal Wang Jinhe. The big man looked him up and down, puzzled. This kid's their ace? He looks so scrawny, he snorted. Listen, Junior, you're too skinny. I might accidentally kill you with one punch. Why don't you just surrender now? His arrogance instantly ignited fury among the girls in the audience. Fatty, shut up. Zichen's gonna wipe the floor with you. Go, Zichen. Turn that pig into minced meat. Yeah, crush him, Zichen. The moment those words hit his ears, Wang Jinhe's smile vanished. Wang Jinhe snorted, a smug grin spreading across his round face. Tell you what, Junior, I'll stand still and let you throw 10 punches. Wouldn't want you or your little fangirls whining later about me bullying the weak. Lin Zichen nodded cheerfully. All right then, don't regret it later. The giant spread his arms and slapped his belly with a thunderous smack. Come on, little brother. I won't move an inch. Hit me with everything you've got. The next second, boom, Lin Zichen's fist sank into the fat man's gut like a cannon shot. The 500-pound behemoth launched into the air as if gravity itself gave up. He crashed to the floor with a thunderous bang. That shook the ring. Silence. The entire gym froze. No one even breathed. Then came the explosion of cheers. Yes, we won. Zichen one-punched him. Wang Jinhe staggered to his feet, dazed and confused. Wait, what? Why am I on the floor? What just happened? That doesn't even make sense. The opposing instructor walked over, clapping Han Yuanfeng's shoulder with a stunned laugh. Feng Ji, your student is insane. One punch, and down goes Wang Jinhe. He's almost as strong as Wu Tiancheng was back in grade 1. Han chuckled modestly. Oh, come on. Wu Tiancheng was a monster. Back then, even the principal nearly had a heart attack watching him fight. Lin Zichen blinked curiously. Teacher, who's Wu Tiancheng? Han smiled, nostalgia flashing in his eyes. He was a legend, a senior who, as a freshman, single-handedly defeated the entire senior elite class. Even the faculty was terrified of him. Back then, his 100-meter sprint was 6.12 seconds, his vertical jump nearly 4 meters, and he could lift 650 kilograms with one hand. Unreal, huh? Lin Zichen scratched his head thoughtfully. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Sound about the same as my strength back in 6th grade summer vacation, though. Later that evening, the class gathered at a nearby restaurant to celebrate. Teacher Han Yuanfeng raised his glass, smiling proudly. Everyone a toast. Thanks to Zichen, we defeated the senior class. Their homeroom teacher kept his promise and treated us to dinner. So, come on, let's give a cheer for our hero. The students all lifted their glasses high. Zichen's the man. Cheers to our champ. After that victory, Lin Zichen became something of a celebrity on campus. Classmates kept coming over to chat or offer drinks, which honestly made him a bit uncomfortable. Only Shen Han remained the same, quiet, gentle, and thoughtful. While everyone else was hyping him up, she quietly kept filling his bowl and passing dishes his way. Then suddenly, she froze mid-motion. Zichen, I'll be right back, she murmured and hurried off toward the restroom. Watching her rush away, Lin Zichen smirked inwardly. Still the same as ever, can't win against her bladder. After she finished, as she was about to leave the restroom, she overheard 2 girls chatting outside. Did you see how Shen Han kept serving Lin Zichen? Pouring drinks, peeling shrimp. Honestly, she looks like his maid, right? With her weak skills, she'd never make it into the elite class if she wasn't busy kissing up to him. but it won't last long. The gap between them's too wide. Shin Qinghan stepped out from behind them, eyes calm but firm. I'm not his simp, she said quietly. I'm his childhood friend. With that, she turned and walked away. Later that night, as the dinner wound down, Lin Zichen noticed her mood. Qinghan, you okay? You seem down. Something happened. She lowered her head, voice barely a whisper. When I was little, Mom always told me I'd grow out of wetting the bed. But even now, I still do. Every night, I have to wear protection before I can sleep. It's so embarrassing. Zichen, I feel like I'm broken, like a defective person who can't even control herself. Lin Zichen shook his head immediately. You're not broken. His tone softened into a reassuring grin. That's not a flaw. It's a superpower. You just haven't learned how to awaken it yet. Shin Qinghan's eyes widened in disbelief. Superpower? Are you serious? Lin Zichen nodded firmly. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Your talent for water techniques. That's a manifestation of your power. She looked up at him, eyes shimmering. Then, Xiao Chun, you've always been amazing. Does that mean you have a superpower too? Wanting to boost her confidence, Lin Zichen smiled. Of course. Just like you, I've got one too. Her expression softened into wonder. If that's true, I wonder what kind of power I'd have. Lin Zichen grinned. Something incredible, no doubt. Your ability might just surprise even me. Before she could reply, a loud commotion echoed from across the street. A group of rodent control officers were about to enter a supermarket, but the owner blocked the entrance, arms outstretched. Stop! Don't you dare hurt my brothers, he shouted, waving a broom wildly. Touch them again, and I'll fight every last one of you. With that, he charged at the uniformed guards like a madman, broom in hand. Shin Qinghan flinched and gripped Lin Zichen's arm tightly. Xiao Chun, he looks crazy. This is scary. Lin Zichen stepped in front of her protectively, probably a mental patient. Come on, let's not get involved. He gently led her away from the chaos. Later that evening, back home, Lin Zichen sat with his parents watching the news. The newscaster's tone was grave. Last week, a young female teacher went missing on her way home from school. Her whereabouts remain unknown. His mother frowned deeply. Another missing woman. That makes 4 this month, doesn't it? His father corrected her calmly. 5. That's the 5th one. The broadcast continued with a chilling warning. All 5 victims were young, attractive women. Authorities urge all female citizens to avoid going out alone at night. If you must, travel in groups and stay away from isolated areas. Lin Zichen's mother turned to him with a grave expression. Xiao Chun, things aren't safe lately. Don't let Qinghan go out alone, okay? He nodded immediately. Got it, Mom. Don't worry. I'll look after her. Meanwhile, the supermarket owner had been detained and taken to the local security bureau for questioning. So, the officer asked the on-site doctor, is he mentally ill? The doctor frowned. Not sure yet. I've tried speaking to him, but he won't say a word. It's like he's mute. The officer scowled. Mute? No way. At the market earlier, the guy was screaming his lungs out. Suddenly, the officer froze. Something felt wrong. He turned toward the suspect. The man's body began to swell. Veins bulged, bones cracked, and muscles warped grotesquely beneath the skin. Then came a sickening snap pop as his form erupted into a massive, fur-covered beast. The officer's face drained of color. Code red. He's transforming. Repeat, subject is mutating into a giant rat. Requesting immediate support. Send the cyborg units now. Gunfire erupted inside the interrogation room. Bullets tore through the air as officers fought the rampaging monster. A young policewoman, Xiao Mei, burst in, breathless. Chief, HQ says all cyborg enforcers are deployed. They can't reach us for at least 10 minutes. And we're running out of ammo. The chief gritted his teeth. Leave 2 behind to cover us. Everyone else move. We'll lure that thing to the outskirts and buy time. Xiao Mei jumped into the back seat of a patrol car. Another officer took the wheel, engine roaring as they sped toward the mountains. The mutant rat let out a piercing shriek and charged after them, claws tearing up asphalt. The car raced into a dim tunnel, headlights flickering across cracked concrete. Then, boom! Something slammed through the tunnel wall. The monster burst out from the side, flipping the patrol car into the air like a toy. The vehicle crashed violently, tumbling end over end before slamming to a stop. As the giant mutant rat let out a world-shaking roar, a volley of missiles slammed into its flank. Explosions ripped through the air, shrapnel, smoke, and a crushing boom masking the creature for a moment. The cyborg enforcers had finally arrived on scene. Missiles kept striking, metal screamed and flesh tore, yet the beast somehow broke free and fled the area. Shockingly, it burrowed itself and escaped. These things were getting smarter. Judging by the torn flesh and blood trails left behind, though it was badly wounded, Akati shouldn't be able to get far. There'd be a chance to track it down and finish the job. Back in the city, the clock read 3 a.m. Lin Zichen was still hunched over his laptop, writing. After more than 2 weeks of steady updates, about 4,000 words per day, his novel had nearly hit 100K words, and paid earnings had topped 10,000. Unable to sleep, he decided to test his latest training in a secluded, camera-free alley. His latest numbers: 100-meter dash in 3.43 seconds, vertical leap up to 7.2 meters. Clear, tangible progress. If this keeps up, I'll be forging a sacred body sooner or later, he thought. Then a rustle nearby pulled him out of his reverie. He turned and saw a figure crouched beside a pile of trash, moving strangely. The person was whispering to a small rat in his hands, voice raw with apology. Bro, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to eat you. I was so hungry. Once I'm full, I'll honor you every year. Lin Zichen's heart dropped. A rat man? Could this be the same giant rat from the news that had morphed into a humanoid form? He spun on his heel, intent on running to the police. The rat man saw him and replied in a low, chilling tone, I don't need to eat you. I can feast on humans instead. Without hesitation, it charged. Lightning fast, it closed distance in an instant. With nowhere to dodge, Lin Zichen pivoted and faced it head-on. He launched a heavy roundhouse kick, impact connected, and the rat man flew backward from a force. The rat man staggered to his feet, blood dripping from his mouth. What the hell? This kid looks like a scrawny student. How does he hit like a monster? Before it could react, a rock smashed straight into its skull. Lin Zichen didn't let up. He grabbed handfuls of stones and hurled them one after another. The sound of impacts filled the alley. Thunk, crack, crack. Within seconds, the rat man was riddled with holes, like a living sieve. Only when it collapsed into a pile of mangled flesh did Lin Zichen finally stop. That he exhaled deeply, chest heaving. He stepped forward and extended his hand toward the remains. System notification. You have absorbed a fragment of giant rat essence. Codex progress. 7% plus 2%. Lin Zichen frowned. Only 2%? Last time I got 5%. Could it be because that cultist gene fusion ratio was different? He left the alley immediately. Dawn was approaching. Staying here any longer would be trouble. Minutes later, a female cyborg operative arrived at the scene. Dead, she muttered, scanning the remains. But who killed the rat man? Meanwhile, elsewhere in the city, a hooded man dragged an unconscious woman toward a shadowy altar. He laid her in the center, knelt down, and bowed deeply. Lord Rat God, please accept the offering I've brought you. A cold, mocking voice echoed from the darkness. Only one woman? Trying to starve me. This isn't even enough to fill my teeth. Or, are you volunteering as the second course? The man trembled violently. And no, Lord Rat God, please let me explain. The young women outside are all on alert, he stammered. They don't go out at night anymore, and in the day they travel in groups. It's getting harder to catch them. Silence. Then the voice returned, low and furious. Then bring me young men instead. The man's eyes widened with relief. Yes, Lord Rat God, as you command. A chunk of flesh fell before him with a sickening splat. Thank you, my lord, for your blessing, he cried, snatching the meat and devouring it greedily, tears of ecstasy and madness mixing with blood. Meanwhile, a long, slick tongue slithered out from the darkness, wrapping around the unconscious woman. With a sickening pull, the tongue dragged her toward the shadows, straight into the rat god's maw. The cave filled with a wet, crunching sound. Crunch, crack, squelch, bones snapped. Flesh tore. The sound alone could drive a man mad. Moments later, the same deep, guttural voice echoed again. Stop bringing me commoners. Their meat is bittered. I want those who live in luxury. Their flesh is tender, soaked in comfort and pride. The next morning, Lin Zichen began a private training routine with Shun Qinghan at his home, helping her improve her martial combat scores. Your punch is too high, Lin Zichen instructed patiently. Lower the angle. Keep your stance open. Loosen your legs a bit. And don't face the opponent straight on. Tilt your body slightly. Makes it easier to counter. He gestured toward himself. All right, try again. Full force this time. Okay, here I come. Qinghan threw a punch with all her strength. Lin Zichen caught it cleanly, nodding, good. Angle's much better. Your power output's stronger too. She followed with a quick kick. Lin Zichen blocked easily, his tone still calm. Your sweep's off balance. Don't keep your legs locked together. Relax, just like I showed you. Try again. Shun Qinghan nodded, refocused, and launched another combo. After several rounds, she slumped down, panting heavily. Phew, I'm exhausted, but I can really feel myself getting stronger. She looked up, hopeful. Xiao Chun, 3 sessions a week doesn't feel like enough. Can we train every day? Lin Zichen chuckled softly. No need. 3 times a week is plenty. If you push every day, your body won't recover. Qinghan hesitated, then smiled and nodded. All right then, 3 times it is. Just then, Lin Zichen's phone buzzed with a breaking news alert. He opened it and saw a special report headline. Official announcement, Mechagod Corporation. The company will provide free rehabilitation for former mechanical prodigies whose early cybernetic augmentations resulted in severe disabilities. Another trending article caught his eye. Kyoto University's young genius, Saw, has successfully fused the arachnid beast gene, Thousand Thread Spider, becoming the youngest dual-gene fusioner in university history. Kyoto genius. Wait, could be the Kyoto prodigy from years ago. Lin Zichen frowned. Normally, humans couldn't withstand gene fusion until adulthood. Their bodies simply couldn't handle the beast genes taking control. But that kid, she's not even 18 and already completed a second fusion. Her physical potential must be terrifying. Lin Zichen's thoughts raced. Could gene fusion actually be the optimal evolutionary path? Night fell. Lin Zichen was still at his desk, typing away at his web novel. With his dual abilities, Use It or Lose It and Heavenly Insight, his writing speed had skyrocketed. After a month of daily training, he could now hit 10,000 words per hour with ease. His father glanced at the screen and nodded approvingly. Zichen, your story's doing great. If you can keep this up, 10K words a day without the plot falling apart. You'll earn around 50,000 in the first month. Once the word count builds up, 10 grand a month won't be a problem. Lin Zichen's heart leapt with excitement. 5 figures a month, maybe even more. With that kind of income, I won't have to worry about unlocking the next Beast Codex point. 2 months royalties should be enough to open the Feral Rock Codex. The next day in martial arts class, instructor Han Yuanfeng organized a sparring session to assess the students' overall progress. As always, Lin Zichen dominated. His performance was nothing short of brutal efficiency. None of his classmates lasted more than 3 moves. By the end of the session, he'd pocketed 888 yen in prize money and advanced his survival of the fittest system task progress. 2 birds with 1 stone. On the other hand, Shun Qinghan still couldn't win a match, remaining dead last in the class ranking. But unlike before, she no longer stood there helplessly. She could actually fight back. Last time she faced Wen Yintong, the second-to-last student, she'd been kicked off the stage in under 3 seconds. This time, she held her ground for almost 3 full minutes, landing several punches and even a few kicks in return. Han Yuanfeng smiled approvingly. Excellent progress, Qinghan. Keep it up. Then he turned to the rest of the class, his tone serious. A month from now, we'll challenge the strongest second-year honors class. Our goal, defeat everyone except their top 3 elites. Do you have confidence? The students shouted in unison. Yes, sir. Han clenched his fist with a grin. Good. Then prepare yourselves. Your real trial begins now. Time passed quickly. Lin Zichen's web novel had been live for over a month. With his speed and consistency, his savings had reached 80,000 yen. He headed to the exotic beast meat market. Excuse me, I'd like to buy some feral rock meat. The clerk smiled politely. Of course, sir. How much would you like? We're running a promotion. Buy 100 caddies at once, get a 5% discount. Lin Zichen paused for a moment, calculating. Not yet. I'll wait till I can afford a full 100. He turned to leave, determination flickering in his eyes. The next day at noon, Lin Zichen and Shun Qinghan were having lunch in the academy cafeteria. Nearby, someone tried to cut in line, but He Yu immediately stepped forward to block him. Shun Qinghan glanced over and whispered, Xiao Chun. He Yu's arguing with someone. Should we help? Lin Zichen shook his head calmly. No need. He can handle it. He Yu's glare was sharp enough to make the would-be line cutter shrink back, too intimidated to talk. The man, however, scurried off to whisper with 3 other students. Moments later, the 4 of them walked right up and forced their way to the front of the line again. He Yu frowned and tried to shove them aside, but his expression changed instantly. They didn't budge. These guys were abnormally strong. Seeing the tension, Lin Zichen stood up and walked over. He rested a hand on one of their shoulders and said politely, Hey, classmate, please go back to the end of the line. The man jabbed a finger toward him, sneering. Make me. What are you going to do? Lin Zichen pulled out his phone and smiled faintly. I'll report you. The man froze. The threat of an official report worked better than a punch. Lin Zichen's tone stayed even. Honestly, cutting in line is far more disgraceful. The 4 exchanged nervous glances, then slunk away in silence. That night, in a dimly lit villa within Shanghai City's wealthy district, a small group gathered around a heavy oak table. The man at the head seat spoke coldly. Sha Chong is dead. Lost at the market a few days ago, picked a fight with the security patrol, and got himself killed. Another man chuckled darkly. Good. That lunatic was a ticking bomb. He'd have dragged us all down sooner or later. The leader gestured toward a young newcomer beside him. This kid's replacing him. Get familiar with each other. His tone dropped, low and reverent. The rat god has spoken. Ordinary people taste bitter. From now on, we offer the flesh of those above others, the privileged, the rich that don't bring the wrong sacrifice again. Down in the dimly lit villa, several cult members voiced their concern. High-tier prey is too risky, cult leader. Yeah, if ordinary people vanish, no one cares, but if the upper class start disappearing, the city will go insane. The cult leader raised his hand for silence. Then choose the wealthy without power. Merchant sons, heirs to small fortunes. Rich enough for flavor, unimportant enough to be forgotten. He turned his gaze toward the new recruit. You're still green. Don't go after nobles yet. Bring me a handsome young man, someone common but perfect. Offer him to one of the rat god's divine offspring as a sacrifice. The newcomer smirked confidently. Understood, cult leader. I'll find a most handsome offering in the entire city. Meanwhile, at school, He Yu slammed his tray on the table. I looked into it. Lin Zichen, those guys who cut in line last week. They're from class 3, year 2. The same elite class we're about to challenge next month. Lin Zichen barely looked up from his phone. Having good grades doesn't mean having good manners, he said flatly. Suddenly, his expression shifted, his eyes narrowing. On his screen flashed a breaking headline. Another heir missing. 5th wealthy youth disappears in Shanghai. The article was clear. No ransom, no contact, no demands, only silence. Lin Zichen's mind raced that, no ransom, then it's not about money. Could these disappearances be tied to the rat cult? The next day, the long-awaited sparring match began. Class 1 of Year 1 versus Class 3 of Year 2, the Academy's strongest division. The same upperclassmen who'd cut the lunch line were now glaring at He Yu from across the arena, one of them raising a middle finger with a smirk. He Yu grinned coldly and returned the gesture without hesitation. The air between the two classes crackled with hostility. Warm-ups finished. Both classes wasted no time. Sparring began. As before, Shun Qinghan was chosen to open the match. Her opponent, another senior girl, charged immediately with a sharp roundhouse kick. The blow sent Shun Qinghan flying off the stage. Against these elite seniors, Shun's turtle-style defense just couldn't hold. These girls were on another level. It wasn't just Shun. Even Li Chuxin and the others found themselves powerless against the seniors' onslaught. Only when a sturdier, short-haired girl stepped and did the tide briefly turn, she managed to knock the senior down. But the senior quickly regained control and seized back the momentum. In under 10 minutes, that senior had dispatched 9 opponents. 3 of them were boys. Before long, Class 1, Year 1, was reduced to just 4 fighters: Lin Zichen, Wang Shujia, Lu Gang, and He Yu. Class 3, Year 2, however, had only lost 5 members, all girls. A whopping 36 students had not even entered the ring. They hadn't sent a single male fighter. Instructor Han's face tightened. The gap in strength was glaring. This was turning out far more difficult than he'd hoped. He looked at He Yu and said quietly, "He Yu, you're up. There are 6 girls left on their side. Take them all out, understood?" He Yu bounded onto the stage with swagger. "No problem." He even taunted 6. "Bring me more seniors. I'll handle them." True to his words, He Yu delivered. After a hard push, he knocked the 6 remaining girls off the stage one by one. The first male fighter from Class 3, Year 2, stepped into the ring. It was the same guy who'd cut in line at the cafeteria. He grinned arrogantly. "Ready to die, freshman?" He Yu smirked inwardly. "First boy up? Must be weak. Perfect time for payback." Out loud, he shot back, "You've got no manners and no self-awareness either." But the upperclassman lunged forward with blinding speed. Before He Yu could react, a fist slammed into his gut. He doubled over, clutching his stomach. So fast, and that punch damn heavy. The senior placed a foot on his shoulder, sneering. "Too weak. Just admit defeat." Rage flared in He Yu's eyes. He swung a desperate counterpunch, but the upperclassman moved even faster, landing a vicious kick straight into He Yu's abdomen. "BM!" He Yu's body flew off the stage and hit the ground hard. Gasping for air, he grimaced. "He's not weak at all. He's strong, stronger than most of us. That he came here just to get revenge. Damn, I underestimated him." The senior dusted off his hands and looked at Lin Zichen. "You like playing hero, don't you? Come on then, if you got the guts." Lin Zichen's eyes narrowed. Perfect timing. With a single leap, he landed on the ring, calm and focused. "I was waiting for my turn anyway," he thought. "Now I've got it." From below, his classmates erupted. "Go, Chun. Smash him. Cafeteria punks, still acting tough. Teach him some manners. Hit him hard. Pay him back for He Yu." The upperclassman rushed forward, launching a flying kick. Lin Zichen raised one arm and blocked it effortlessly. His hand shot out, grabbed the attacker by the head, and slammed him down. Thud! The older student's face hit the mat, lights out instantly. Without a word, Lin Zichen nudged him off the edge of the ring with his foot. The entire Class 3, Year 2, froze in disbelief. Chi Yu, one of their top 5 fighters, was just one shot. What the hell? That freshman's a monster. Their instructor stared wide-eyed, thinking he's still hiding strength. No ordinary student could do that. Lu Gang and Wang Shujia exchanged looks of sheer disbelief. "Bro, he's already this strong. And that's not even full power? Is he even human?" Lin Zichen turned toward the second-year stands, his voice calm yet commanding. "Who's next?" The 3 guys who'd cut the cafeteria line earlier instantly paled and backed away. 30 minutes later, Class 3, Year 2, was annihilated. All 29 remaining members were defeated, one after another, by Lin Zichen alone. He opened his natural selection system panel. Progress, 119/1000 eliminations, he frowned. Too slow. Way too slow. Every class match limited him to one final appearance. But he wasn't bound by school rules anymore. His strength had already surpassed this level. "It's time I set my own rules." Monday morning, Lin Zichen strode into the principal's office without hesitation. The principal blinked in disbelief. "A personal challenge event with rewards? Are you serious? You're a freshman. You want to challenge the entire school? On what grounds?" Lin Zichen met his gaze firmly. "I'll show you why I qualify. Come with me to the gym. I'll prove it." The principal, half curious and half concerned, followed him to the gymnasium. "Zichen," he asked warily, "what's this about exactly?" Lin Zichen smiled faintly while taking off his jacket. "To demonstrate my power." In one smooth motion, he gripped a 700-kilogram dumbbell and lifted it single-handedly. The principal's jaw dropped. "That's stronger than Wu Tiancheng when he was in first year." After a moment of stunned silence, the principal nodded decisively. Fine, you'll get your wish. I'll arrange a school-wide challenge exhibition and make it official. Lin Zichen chuckled. Principal, don't forget to set up rewards. No one fights without incentives. He continued, I suggest two kinds of rewards. Participation bonus, to motivate everyone to step into the ring. Cumulative prize pool, the longer the streak, the larger the pot. Whoever beats me gets the entire pool. But if no one can defeat me before the deadline, the prize becomes mine. The principal grinned. Deal. Leave it to me. We'll do exactly as you said. Lin Zichen added, and one more thing. Keep my power level secret for now. If people find out, no one will dare to challenge. Understood, understood, the principal said eagerly. Your secret's safe with me. A few days later, Lin Zichen visited the office again. The principal beamed, holding up the printed plan. Zichen, here's the finalized challenge proposal. Lin Zichen skimmed it and nodded. Perfect. You've done great work, principal. Oh, nonsense. It's my pleasure, the principal replied, almost giddy. A couple of teachers nearby exchanged bewildered glances. Wait, what's going on? Isn't that the same demon principal who terrifies the whole school? Why does she look like a fangirl in front of this kid? At 2 p.m., the gymnasium was packed to the brim. The principal took the mic, announcing the start of the school-wide challenge exhibition. She introduced Lin Zichen's stats, his past victories, and the prize system, down to every detail. The crowd erupted. Is this for real? Has the principal lost her mind? A first year, challenging the entire school? Who does he think he is? One student scoffed loudly. Please, you only beat a few second years, and now you're acting like a god. Another yelled, arrogant brat. You think you're Wu Tiansheng, the legend himself? Lin Zichen stood before the crowd, calm and composed. Starting tomorrow, I'll be guarding the ring in the gym every day during lunch break, 2 full hours. Anyone who wants a match, come find me. The crowd buzzed with excitement and disbelief. Inside, Lin Zichen smirked. Perfect. Looks like plenty of people want a piece of me. This might help me finish the natural selection quota early. Night fell over Shanghai City. Neon lights shimmered as people hurried along the busy streets. A man with dyed yellow hair leaned lazily against a lamppost, his eyes scanning every passerby. 2 women sauntered up to him. Hey, handsome. Alone tonight? Want to grab a drink? He snorted. Not interested. Beat it. As they walked off, he spat on the ground, muttering, damn it, this city's really gone downhill. He rubbed his temples. All I need is one good-looking guy, just one perfect sacrifice. And yet, not a single decent face in sight. His brow furrowed. If I fail this offering, the cult leader will have my head. I'll be shunned, exiled from the Mouse God Church. He thought about kidnapping a male celebrity, but those guys were always surrounded by bodyguards. As a mere new recruit, he didn't stand a chance. The deadline's almost here. What the hell am I going to do? Then, out of the corner of his eye, he spotted a figure jogging past under the streetlights. Lin Zichen. His eyes widened. Holy hell, that face. Jackpot. He sneered coldly. Well, we'll talk about luck. I've been searching everywhere, and here he comes right to me. His eyes locked on Lin Zichen's back. It's him. The street was almost empty. No cars, no witnesses. Time to strike. In the next instant, his body swelled and twisted, transforming into a beastly creature. But before he could move, a brick smashed into his head, blood splattering everywhere.